Welcome back to my retro video game room in VR. I'm using EmuVR beta. It's currently available online. I'll put a link down below if you would like to try it for yourself. I want to go over some of the finer details of what you get in the beta, some of the customization and options and stuff. So we're going to start off with the basics. Your controls. I'm using the Oculus Rift and has a touch control, so it kind of gives you a pair of hands and you're able to pick things up, manipulate them as you see fit. For the most part, some of the bigger stuff you can't move. If I'm far away from something, I can point at it and drag it to me, which is pretty nice. Put that back right there. When you first get the game, teleport is the option that's on by default. Instructions on how to turn that off are in the website, so that's why I have smooth locomotion. As for turning, right now there's no smooth turning, so every time I want to do some pretty drastic turning, I have to do clicks. Thankfully, I can just kind of turn around in my room and do it like that, and don't really have to use that too much, although I would like some smooth turning. Next, I want to go over the menu. So this is where you can get objects to put into the environment. You can throw stuff away if you don't like stuff. So let's say, for instance, this baseball here. I just pull it right out, do whatever I want with it. I put it into the environment. If I don't like it, point at it, drag it back, throw it away. Anything that's already out, I can do the same thing with. So some of the objects are pretty cool. They're kind of limited, very detailed. So for instance, the Snickers bar with the actual Snickers label is super detailed. It looks real. I want to eat it. We'll just throw that away. Oh, I missed the trash can. How dare I? Let's get on to the good stuff. Screens. These are the available screens that are that you can choose from. They're 80s screens, 90s screens. So here's what the screens are like. These are the available TV types. Your 90s ones are on the right here. Turn that off. Take a look at the screen. And then you have your 80s TVs on the left. Turn that off. Tiny, small, medium, and large. Same thing with 90s. Alright, now that I'm in the seated position, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the details of the TV, the consoles, the cartridges, and the CDs. Starting with the TV, as you can see, it's got scratches. It's Panasonic, really cool, highly detailed. The reflections, as you can see, match with what I have right now. There's a hat on the chair next to my bed. Same thing matches in the reflection. One thing to note is it's not in real time, which would be very difficult to do. I'll show you by turning the chair and putting the hat on the bed that it has not updated. What you can do, though, is turn the light off and then back on by either using the light switch or pointing at the light itself, and the reflection is up to date, as you can see. So really cool. Just want to kind of show that off about the TVs before I move on to the consoles. Speaking of which, let's start with the SNES. Here we have one that looks like an SNES, not finished. The shape is correct. The colors are, it just needs the decals and some of those smaller details to make it look really good. Not much to show off there. Looks really good. Looks to scale. Same thing with all these consoles. They look like proper proportions. This Pretendo 64 console is really good looking. It looks finished. It's got scuffs on it. Good colors. Reflective decal there that shows, I can see the chair in the reflection. That's pretty cool. Let's go to the bottom side. The venting and the little thing to pop off. There's the side, and there's the back side. So there you go. Beautiful models. Same thing with the phony game station we got here. It's finished. Scuff marks. Inside looks really good. Front looks almost perfect. These are just pictures. They don't actually have any depth to them. they look good from straight on. Bottom side has got this really cool looking sticker. It says phony on it. There's the back side. It looks really good. Oop, button. So now we're going to move on to the cartridges. Here we have a Super Metroid cartridge. It's almost complete. I think it just needs a few more decals on it and details to make it look really good. I had to get this image off the internet. They come with a default black and white lettering of whatever you name the game is. So this I had to do myself. Not too hard to do. Just got to follow the instructions. There we go. Clear the dust out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pick up Donkey Kong Country 2, and we're going to pop that one in there and come back to it later. Take a look at the Pretendo 64 cartridge. Same deal. Had to get the image off the internet, as you're going to have to get with any of the games, all the images for. Not too hard to do. This one is finished, as you can see. It's got good details on the inside, on the back. Oh, I just dropped it. Clumsy me. Just want to switch hands. There we go, without dropping it. There's the back side. That looks really good. And go ahead and pop that one in there too. And last but not least, on this side of the room, here's the CD for Crash Bandicoot. Nice and glossy. Like on the back side, you can see the reflections of the room. And it's all scuffed up and smeared. Someone doesn't know how to take care of their CDs, I guess. We're going to go ahead and put that in. And there we go. So those are the TV, the cartridges, and the games. To plug in the console, you either start from the TV or you start from the console itself, and you get a little prompt that gives you a little cord. You can stretch it as long as you want. There's no limit to it. Go ahead and plug that into the TV. I could just press the power button and turn it on, or I can press the power button on here and then start the game up. So we're going to let that start up, and what's nice is you can move around freely as the game's playing until you find a spot you like, and you can point at the screen, and then it locks you in place, and your controls are then going through the whatever console you're playing. So I'm going to switch over though from my touch controllers to an Xbox One controller that I prefer. Use that one, it works just fine. And start the game now that I have controls. I'm in a good seated position where I want. No game saves on it. Alright, so I'm going to start the very first level, and I want to show off something on the TV screen before I really get anywhere. I'm going to put down my controller, switch back to my hands. I didn't have to do that, but I'm used to doing it. I'm going to free myself up, so now I can move around freely while the game is playing, go start up another game if I want. But what I want to really show is something called the aperture grill. So that's very, 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 very close. Once you get close enough to the TV screen, you'll see it. I just want to show off the CRT aspects of it and how close they came to it. As you can see, there are scan lines, and as I get closer and closer and closer, you see there it is, red, blue, and green of the aperture grill. Let's try another spot. Just like a CRT teeth would have. So, there you go. Let's get back into this game and play a little bit of this level. And get Dixie here. Come on up. And while you're playing the game, of course, you have full movement of the head, stand up, move around if you want, sit back down and get back into the game. Looks really good. So let's say I want to scoot closer to the TV screen. All I gotta do is press in both sticks. That sets me free from being locked to the TV. Get a little bit closer. There we go. Not really close. On the TV, and now I'm back in the game. Not too bad. It's pretty good. Let me say we move on to the N64. So free myself from the game. I'm going to switch to my hand real quick. Turn off the console. Grab N64. Pull that plug out. Switch it to that. There we go. Let's go back just a little bit. Switch to my awesome music. What's cool is the controls are automatically assigned. This uses a version of RetroArch to run the emulation of everything, so it does a really good job. Oh, look at that. That looked good. And the controls, I'd have to get used to all over again, but oh, I don't want that. Let's kill this guy. Gun. Oh, I switched guns. There we go. Yeah, I'd have to get used to the buttons in this game again, but as you can see, it runs really well. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this last guy. Yeah. I'm gonna move on to the next console. Didn't want to lean guy. Oh, one more guy. Good matchup. The game's spawned in a nice safe spot. There we go. Look down and grab my hands. Go ahead and turn the console off. And we're now going to hook up the phony game station. Let's see here. Plug it on in. There we go. And I could have these all plugged into separate TVs, but I really want to show off how easy it is to move the cable around. So, start that up. My other controller. Good spot. There's my neighbor dog barking. Wants to be a part of the video. It's okay. Oh, and there's a siren. It's fine. Just pretend that my window there is cracked. That's what the sounds are. Hear anything weird? Dog, naughty dog. Come on, let's get to the game. Insanity Beach. It's crazy awesome graphics for the time. What have I got? They're still trying to figure out linear, going from the linear games, 2D side scrollers, and how would that look in 3D. And this is one of the early versions of that. So that's why it is very linear, even though it's 3D. So let's now move on. Some of those other game consoles I have. What do you say? All right, let me grab my hands. I'm going to click my stick so I'm free. I'm going to turn that off. Turn off the TV for, save electricity and all that. We're going to move over. Put my controller down. Stand up to the generic consoles. Now, there are a whole bunch you can choose from. I'll put a list down in the description of what other game consoles you can use, or handheld consoles, whatever you want. And so this is just a piece of them. These are like the main ones. I only have 6 out of, I don't know, there's 10 plus that you could use. So here we have the generic NES console, knockoff. Still looks pretty good for, just being a placeholder essentially. We have a little thing on the back side that says, "Hello, I'm a placeholder model representing the console you wanted. It should be properly modeled someday, but then you can use me to play games. Until then, you can use me to play games." So yeah, sorry, it's kind of hard to read with there's kind of a glare from the light. So yeah, there's the basic generic one. They all look the same. They just have different labels of what they are, and the same thing with the cartridges. Oops, gotta be careful. Knocking things around. Had to get all the art for it, as you can see. Gotta make some Castlevania. that in. Do it right, though. Do it right. There we go. That's why they need to make an NES that works right. Alright, we've got ourselves Sonic the Hedgehog, which will go in Sega. Shantae is Game Boy Color. We'll put a color game in there. And then we've got ourselves a little Super Metroid for the Game Boy Advance. Let's go ahead and throw that right there. I'm going to plug in my regular Nintendo. Start it up. There we have Castlevania. Let me grab my controller here. Where did I put it? There it is. Yeah, there we go. Now we're really going retro. Getting another look at those TV. Cool. I'm going to play just a little bit of each of these. There's 4 of them. Yeah, so there we go. NES right there. Switch to my hands, put my controller down. Take my hands. Where's my other hand? There it is. Unplug that. I'm going to put that back right there. We're going to move over to the Sega. Let me adjust this TV where I want it. All right. How's that? That's good. Plug it on in. There we go. So for a beta, this is pretty amazing, you have to admit. Sega! Let me switch controllers. Oh. Sega Genesis. Awesome console. Let's plug it. Getting a little close to my barrier. Let me turn here. In my room. There we go. It's facing an area of my room where I don't have as much room in my room. So let's put that back. We're going to move over to the Game Boy Color. I'm also going to show off Tetris so you can see them both. The black and white plus the color. Put that in. Start that up. Start that up. Oh, okay, there we go. Grab my other controller. There we go. This game is pretty amazing for Game Boy Color. It's a lot nicer than looking at a little screen, having to worry about battery life, all that. Backlighting was an issue back in the day for the Game Boy, so. It's pretty good. Oh, can I skip that? No, can't skip that. Oh, I can speed it up though, that's good. And there we go. A little bit of Game Boy Color. Let me switch games here. Switch to hands. Turn that off. Pull the game out. Tetris in. Start it up. Almost put my controllers down on that virtual table. Alright, here we have just a plain Game Boy. Tetris. Who needs the Tetris effect when you've got this, right? Oh, I messed up. I'm using the joystick. I should use the D-pad. There we go. A little bit better controls. Make up for that. Fix this. So, alright. There we go. A little bit of the Game Boy. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the next one now. Don't want to linger on this one too long. Alright, put that down. then last, I've got the Game Boy Advance in case you wanted to see it. Oop, plug it in proper. There we go. Start it up. Zebbies. Zebbies. Game Boy Advance was a really good handheld. This is a remake of the original. Alright, so there's a little bit of the gameplay of the consoles that I am using. There's so many more you could do, but the more consoles you add, the more work it is. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, turn that off, turn the TV off, and leave that as is. And I want to show you more of the stuff in the room. So I already showed you the light can be turned on and off, and it's pretty cool that they got stars on the ceiling. They look real, like they would look as glow-in-the-dark things should look, especially in the lights on them. Let's see, the clock can change the time of day. So right now it's kind of evening, it's real time. It's 6 o'clock here, and it's 6 o'clock on that clock. I always love that when they put that in the VR so you know what time it is. So I can change that around to night, sometimes night and day. Right now there's only looks like 2 settings, but yeah, you can change that. The lights on the house go on and off across the street. See that? That is cool. All right, let's move on to the bed. That pattern you see here of all the Ninja Turtle stuff, I custom did that they give you the option to do. I got a pattern off of Google Images, and you can just put it into the game. Same thing with this really cool pillow. All a pattern I just found on the internet, and you can customize it. You can also change the floor, the walls, which I did. They're pretty much the same as the old ones, but I just wanted something a little different. And then I believe you can also change the ceiling. The last thing I want to go over is the posters. The awesome posters that you can customize. We're going to do a little tour of what I did. I kind of did my movie posters on this side and game and cartoon posters over here. But here we have John Carpenter's The Thing. Very awesome. And then over to my bed, we got Marvel. I think every single character had to have that. A little bit of Duke Nukem. 3D. Zelda. Link to the Past. There's Mario World. More Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I loved them when I was a kid. I loved all this stuff when I was a kid. There's only maybe one thing I put in here that shouldn't be. Banjo-Kazooie. Look at that. I want this poster in real life. Doom. Give it a cool spot. I'm going to go ahead and do some quick turning here to get situated. There we go. DuckTales, the original DuckTales. There's some extra TVs. Go ahead and take a look at real quick since we're here. Capitalism. Enjoy capitalism. I do. I sure do. Looks like Coca-Cola. Ruffles. Wow, this is the actual. It's crazy how cool it looks. Let's move on with the poster, shall we? This is actually a picture from a magazine cut out, just like sometimes I did when I was a kid. I'd take gaming magazines and get cool stuff for Half-Life, kind of the later 90s. It's supposed to come out in 2000. There we go. My closet, Jurassic Park. One of my favorite movies. Good video games too, especially for the Sega Genesis. Virtual Boy, I had that. And you can actually play an emulated Virtual Boy. It's amazing. That's part of this, but you can also do that. I think play it on a screen, but you can also get another program to play it through your Rift or your Vive as it would look through the Virtual Boy. Really cool. Super Metroid, we played some of that. Final Fantasy VII, my favorite. Ukulele. It's Not from the 90s. It's more recent, but it's totally a 90s game, I swear to God. And one of my favorites. Snake Rattle and Roll, Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Had that for SNES. Good beat 'em up game. Hard. Just like Battletoads, another awesome game. Uh, Hard but fun. Good co-op. Rocket Knight Adventures. Gotta love that. Turn a little bit more here and get to the movie posters. A little bit of Star Wars. Empire. Really cool poster. Aliens. I love the Alien movies. The first two. So good. Schwarzenegger. Predator. Gotta have a little Arnold on there. Terminator 2. That's an Arnold movie. Big Trouble in Little China. If you have not seen that movie, it's underrated action gem from the 80s. Loved it. And on my door, I have a nice Road Warrior poster. So, that's what I can think of to try to show you about this room. I guess I could look out the window real quick and kind of show you that. If you try to put your head through the window, it just goes black, so you can't really poke too close. It looks pretty good out there. Nothing too special. And, oh, I almost left a couple posters off. Whew. These are my dinosaurs, the different types of dinosaurs. I would have had something like this when I was a kid, so I figured why not throw that on there. And then this is another something you get out of a magazine. Donkey Kong Country, Super Metroid, Play It Loud. So, yeah. Oh, I am missing all kinds of posters. I'm sorry. I forgot about the little ones. Contra. Kind of looks like something you get like a sticker. Batman the Animated Series. And Street Sharks. Street Sharks were awesome. Okay, am I missing anything? I don't think I am now. I think I showed you everything. So I hope this kind of answers maybe some of the questions you might have about what this is all about. This beta, EmuVR. It's amazing. Playing the games, feeling like you're actually there when you're a kid. So, well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.